Yes, it's true. A theme park themed to the giant Spanish football team Real Madrid is set to open this year. However, the park is not set to be located in Madrid or even Spain. Instead, it is to be located in Dubai. In fact, the theme park isn't going to be entirely new. Instead, it is going to be located upon the site once home to the Bollywood Park in Dubai. The Bollywood Park, billed as the world's first Bollywood-themed theme park, opened in 2016 as a part of the Dubai Parks and Resorts. This resort is also home to two other theme parks, Motion Gate Dubai and Legoland Dubai. Unfortunately, only 7 years after opening on the 20th of April 2023, Bollywood Park Dubai announced it had permanently closed and would not reopen following its closure during the holy month of Ramadan on the 22nd of March. Before the Dubai Parks and Resorts opened in 2016, there was a lot of hype within the theme park community, not least because the Motion Gate Park was set to feature attractions themed to iconic films such as Ghostbusters, The Hunger Games, and Zombieland. Admittedly, in English-speaking circles, the Bollywood Park was less discussed, but of course, this wasn't the park's target audience. Unfortunately, even within their target audience, once the park opened, interest dwindled. Very few elements of the park were able to meet guests' expectations, and the park was heavily criticised for cutting corners when it came to theming. Plus, one major problem was that the resort lacked any truly world-class attractions. For the most part, these criticisms can also be levelled at the more popular Motion Gate Park. The attractions at Motion Gate are certainly not dreadful, and there are some undeniably good attractions. But with the popularity of the properties the park was working with, combined with the huge expectations placed on anything being built in Dubai, due to the vast amount of wealth in the area, the park is undeniably underwhelming. Bollywood Park, however, wasn't just underwhelming, the offerings were all pretty dreadful. From a visual standpoint, the park looked beautiful, but what sat behind the park's flashy facades was more than just a little disappointing. The park did try to correct these issues by adding several new attractions, including some that were originally purchased by the resort for a planned Six Flags park which eventually got cancelled. Unfortunately, this still did little to attract guests, and I can honestly say that when I visited the park in late 2021, it was the emptiest theme park I have ever experienced. With this in mind, it wasn't much of a surprise to me when the park announced it was closing for good. What I did not expect to learn is that the park was going to be rethemed to Real Madrid World. This was certainly a choice that took me by surprise. The concept of a theme park based on one of the biggest sports teams in the world is certainly interesting, but can it actually work? Sports teams are huge IPs. Their popularity isn't too dissimilar from the popularity of the huge film properties we've come to expect to see within the world's biggest theme parks. Tens of thousands of people dedicate a large chunk of their lives to their sports teams. They buy club merchandise and travel long distances to watch them play live. As I'm sure you realise, many of these behaviours are nearly identical to how fans of Star Wars, Harry Potter, or any other huge intellectual property behave. However, unlike with films and TV programmes, common properties utilised in theme parks, there is a tribal nature to supporting a sports team. This could be a problem when trying to make a park themed to just one team successful, particularly when this park is located thousands of miles from the city this team is actually from. A comparable example is the area themed to the NFL team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, at the theme park Kennywood. However, unlike the Real Madrid theme park, this land is actually located within the city the team is from. Plus, Pittsburgh is a one-team city, and with the majority of Kennywood's visitors coming from the local area, the idea that this would stop fans of other teams visiting is much less of an issue. Plus, the Steelers theme is kept in a very small section of the large theme park, whereas in Dubai, the whole park will be themed around one team. Globally, Real Madrid might have a huge number of fans, but there are also a large number of fans of other teams that deeply dislike them. Honestly, attracting rival fans to a park themed to Real Madrid is going to be very difficult. Celebrating a rival club is certainly not on the cards for many die-hard football fans. Details on what the park will actually include are currently rather limited. Many of the attractions at Bollywood Park were either lightly themed flat rides or screen-based attractions, so changing them should not be too difficult. Altering the look of the overall park and its buildings seems more of a challenge, as it was built with a very distinct Indian style. The exterior of many of the buildings is likely going to have to be dismantled, as it won't be a simple changeover to fit the new theme. With the park set to open in the next few months, there is a remarkable lack of details about what exactly the park will include. It will certainly be interesting to see what the park turns out like and just how well the park performs when it opens. As a whole, the Dubai Parks and Resorts has not been as successful as many initially expected. But with new additions having been added to the Motion Gate Park and the transformation of the Bollywood Park, it seems unlikely that investors will give up on this project anytime soon. Dubai and its neighbouring state Abu Dhabi have both invested large amounts of money into the construction of theme parks. And although many of these projects are yet to prove extremely successful, there is still a lot of potential for the industry in this area of the world. It may just take a little more time than some initially expected for these projects to prove their worth. Whatever happens, it will certainly be interesting to watch the development of the theme park industry in the Middle East over the next few years. With Saudi Arabia now getting involved with the construction of Six Flags Qiddiya, it's likely that the region will continue to gain more focus from theme park enthusiasts. Thank you so much for watching. What are your thoughts on the Real Madrid theme park? Do you think it's a good idea? Plus, do you think the future is bright or not in general for theme parks in the Middle East? Please like, subscribe, and check out the links in my description.